Welcome back, everyone, to the UKLC.
You're not Jake.
I'm Jake Hipper Matthews. Don't let Oxford. No, I'm not. I thought you weren't going to call me out on it.
It's cool. I think it's better.
Is it? Yeah, we'll take it.
Yeah.
Welcome back, everyone, after a very short game and a very long game.
But we did actually have confirmed our guys in the back had their stats completely wrong. It was not the shortest game in the UKLC, and it was not the longest game in the UKLC. However, it was the shortest and longest games in summer.
Yeah,
but no, our stats were wrong, so we didn't just lie to you. Please don't be angry at us.
So I'm not Jake Hipper Matthews. You might be wondering who I am then. I'm Maurits Chronicler, so very happy here to be back from the Benelux. We just saw Furay, a Dutch mid laner, win, so I'm very happy already.
Yeah, and we do have another Dutch player playing later.
Yeah,
so,
we do.
You know,
on Barrage.
No surprises on Barrage.
But that's not the case yet. First of all, we're going to get into this incredibly hard match. Enclave taking on MnM. And MnM, of course, I think they was already really well performing last time, although they, as you already pointed out, they showed a lot of inconsistencies.
Yeah, they were stacked. It was very much they had a blessing in Monk, but also the Monk curse. It was Monk will carry or Monk will feed, and that was
no in between.
There was no in between, and it came down to is this player, is he going to have a good day today? And if he didn't, you doomed. I think having Yusa on the roster is going to add a lot of consistency. He constantly lets other people carry, or he can do it himself, because on a team like Diabolus last split, that absolutely was the case. And Only Angel, he's a veteran of the UK scene. It's hard to say whether it's an upgrade or downgrade. I think MnM has had a really great split last season, but I definitely think Only Angel is a player who could fill his shoes.
And then, of course, Enclave, big switch up from last season. Last season, they were kind of the team that they were a lot better than the lower teams, but still didn't really get the performance that they were looking for.
Dead in the middle.
Yeah.
They were dead in the middle of the pack, and they are absolutely hoping to sort of push beyond that. They have the same bot lane, confident in them, but they've changed things up pretty drastically. They now have Beely in the mid lane, they have Scood in the jungle, and the top lane they have Rengar, so a big switch up in regards to that.
And Scood, to me, is interesting because he was the one who also won the finals against them at Insomnia.
Yeah, he killed them at Insomnia, and now they've picked him up. So,
yeah.
You know, if you can't beat him, sign him.
Yeah, I can't really blame them for that. Let's take a look at the head-to-head matchup here as we go into that game shortly. And I'm really excited because this roster is also a full UK roster. Now I know that that is also somewhat of a... You know, that gives you kind of a special position within the UK scene because there's a lot of imports.
It's rare, and I think it's not a full UK roster coming out from Enclave, but they have a lot of UK players. They have Rengar, Osiris, they have Beely in the mid lane, and it's interesting that we see a UK mid matchup because if anyone who's not familiar with the UK scene, we don't see that many mid laners in the UK. There's been, like, you know, handfuls of them here and there, but very rare. And the fact that Chibs had his debut split and was so strong, and now we have Beely as well in this matchup. It's pretty hyped.
And let's take a look at the roster here for Enclave. As we said before, a lot of swaps here, but also some familiar faces. Rengar in the top lane, Scood in the jungle, Beely in the mid lane, and Kavo and Raisins as last season as AD carry and support.
Yeah, pretty solid roster overall. There's a lot of familiar faces and a lot of new, well, you know, a new face in the sense of Rengar, who hasn't actually, I believe, played in the UK scene, although he has played on a team with Scood and Beely before in the past. So, bit of synergy coming in there, and obviously synergy between the bot lane. We'll now switch to the other roster.
Yeah, let's take a look at the roster for MnM Gaming here. As we got Only Angel in the top lane, Naughty as the jungler, Chips in the mid lane, Yusa as AD carry, and Shogun as support. You were saying already, Chips, really good performance last season, and Yusa, a consistent carry that can, even when given less resources, at least manage himself well.
I'm really hyped about this roster because I think it does lack a bit of experience that was pushing up the previous roster of Yusa. I think Diabolus had some absolute veterans in the likes of Ado and Monkiz, who has repeatedly gotten to EU Masters, but I think Only Angel is a great experienced player who has actually won the UK scene before and is returning to MnM. I think Shogun has consistently stepped up split on split. And yes, although Naughty and Yusa aren't the most experienced players, they've really started to develop. And I'm just excited to see how Chips does. His debut split was so strong. For a UK mid, it's rare to have such a strong debut split. And then to not only have a great one, but to be able to return to the same team, I'm hyped.
And of course, the big question, because with both these teams with new rosters, how is it going to mesh? And we already saw today that one very one-sided match, but that match between Phelan and Diabolus, that went on. Yeah, but it was back and forth as well. It wasn't that one team got an advantage and didn't close it out.
Yeah, I think that's the thing, is it wasn't just like one team went, okay, we're ahead. Oh, how do we close? It was the fact that there was a constant push and pull between the two teams. I'll be interested to see how this dynamic evolves here. It's interesting to look at what areas I think there'll be a lot of strength coming out. I've heard a lot of good talks about Rengus in the top lane. It'll be a good if he can go head-to-head with Only Angel, because I think on paper, a lot of people said he was one of the stronger top laners in the league. So I'm just hyped to see these matchups, and I think it's going to a lot come down to the junglers, Scood and Nulty, and how they perform and influence the lanes, because Scood, definitely someone who has had a lot of competitive experience, played in quite a few teams, was previously in Enclave and has returned, but has also played in the Danish scene. Actually, no, I believe it was in... No, he played on a Scandinavian team. It was a Norwegian team.
He is Danish, though.
He is Danish, yeah. Played on a Norwegian team, and actually was on a team with Leader, who we've seen so much success from in the European stage.
Yeah, and Leader, of course, now smurfing it up in the LEC.
I should call it Smurf in his last game.
Let's give the guy some credit. The first game can be scary.
Leader almost came out of nowhere, but he was playing on this team, Riddle Esports, this Norwegian team, with Scood for quite a long time. So maybe this is the other half of the duo who's finally trying to follow in his footsteps.
Well, I was really impressed with Scoot when we saw it in Insomnia. Played both a lot of carries like the Carthus, but maybe also something aggressive. Know that he's a big fan of the Nidalee, although
absolutely
seeing that in a competitive setting is even more high risk than that pick usually is.
Yeah, it's a bit different, and you have to do a lot to make it work. Very quickly see that Aurelia banned away. That's a big pick for not only Angel, but Chibs as well. Chibs loves to play that champion, and that's one concern that's been raised for him, is his champion pool has been a little bit limited. That's my only concern, but overall he's been pretty solid. His Akali was monstrous when he got his hands on it.
And we're already seeing the Elise taken away as well. No early aggressive Spider Lady for Naughty. And the Karma, of course, an incredibly strong power pick, can be flexed to a multitude of roles. And I mean, top lane Karma for me personally is the worst to face, but I think even in mid lane, even if you really want to, you can flex it to support. It's just so versatile.
Yeah. What's interesting to me is we're seeing our first one here in the Sivir. We're seeing very little support or bot lane bans coming out. The Lux is so strong, the Yumi's so strong, the Sona Taric or Sona Tom has been so prevalent. We're seeing very little attention towards that, so Enclave could snag something big here if MnM don't ban it away. They may have a plan for this Yumi if it comes out, but if not, maybe just give them something pretty strong. They actually go for the Nico ban, which I don't think was going to be Kevo's on-hit Nico, but he was the one who took down Fnatic with that pick. And actually, very quickly going to take that Sona. Now, traditionally, this might have seemed a bit risky, because in the past, Sona Taric was the one to go, but more recently in competitive games, Sona has been paired up with basically anything. I think the big ones have been Tom and even a bit of Galio, but I think you can essentially put it with anything. Just Sona as an AP carry in the bot lane works really well, and I'm never going to take that Aatrox, potentially for Only Angel, and the Lux, a really strong support coming in response. Coming out of Shogun, expect to see the one playing this Lux.
Yeah, and Only Angel, of course, the Aatrox, incredibly strong pick. If you don't fall behind as early as we saw in game number 1 today, it has both in the 1v1 and in the team fight, has a lot of ability to make these big plays, get the multi-man knockups, but also just pressure someone once you get ahead. And it will be the Sona Taric, it looks like, picked up for Kevo and Raisins there. So we're going to get cute and switch it up, just go for the good old Sona Taric.
Yeah, but it shows Enclave are very keen to play things that are a bit... It's not so much off the meta. Sona Taric's very much meta at the moment, but a bit different than the standard. They did play that on-hit Nico. They are now playing the Sona Taric. They know Use is a massive threat, so they want to make it very difficult for him to win. And this, it can put a time on the game because it scales so well. I do like a potential Corki pick coming out from Beely. It's a bit risky because you don't know the mid lane matchup, but if you get to the later stage of the game, it's a massive carry. It does mean, however, you need to see some AD coming out from either Scoot or Rengus, so you have a well-balanced damage profile. For now, though, MnM, they have the choice of either an AD carry here, or they could go for a mid lane matchup where they want to try and counter the Corki, and I well see Chibs Akali once again. He was a monster on that champion.
And we'll be locked in, it looks like. And as you were saying, I do feel like with Enclave, you already have a really strong late game shell here, where if you're able to just weather the storm early on, you're almost going to win by default, because the damage from the Corki, the mixed damage that he's able to consistently output, combined with Sona Taric, we all know how well that skills into these team fights, where you just if you don't 100-0 someone in the beginning of a team fight,
you need the burst. You need instant burst because you get the
Not gonna
junk, they
happen.
just heal up back to full. It makes it very difficult. And I like the Akali because she offers that sort of potential to look for that. Fiora comes out. It's seen as the Korean counter to Aatrox, so understandably wanting to give only Angel an easier scenario. We then see the Ashe taken away, which makes sense because that ult offers a lot of pick potential combined with the Lux. Now back to MnM to look for a ban. They could focus the jungle, they could focus the top again. Remember, they need to secure their AD carry. The Ashe is off the table. I can imagine Varus being a pretty good ban in this situation. Olaf going to be the one taking the cards. It makes sense. Olaf with Sona Taric is so strong because not only are you unCCable, but with the Taric you're unkillable as well.
and just everything, right? You have additional, the additional stun that comes out. You have the healing, the speed up from the Sona. And instead of what we're going for the Sejuani, so still taking away some of the hard engage, but in
I
the
really
jungle
like it though
instead.
because you have two melee solo laners. And it's very easy to gank them if you have a Sejuani because they stack up the passive for you. All you have to do is press E and it's done. Actually, you're going to see the Caitlyn coming out from Yusa, so something that's going to outrange the bot lane of Enclave pretty heavily. You're able to shove in and potentially get some platings, but also, if you land a binding on the Lux and then a trap from the Caitlyn, it is essentially just going to cause your death.
Yeah, especially a Sona, who early on in the game is, of course, incredibly squishy. And looking at the composition for MnM Gaming here, I am noticing a lot of confidence. Because it does look like they're not really trying to match Enclave in the late game. Especially, a Vi getting picked up here for Scoop.
Confident pick, and it has seen a bit of a return in this meta. They get some changes, and with the Aftershock, it's pretty confident, can go in quite aggressively. Backed up by this Sona and this Taric. That's going to be a strong pick to deal with these squishy carries coming out from MnM. And now, for the final pick, I feel like they still need a bit more AD from the top laner, but it's what Rengus wants to take into the Aatrox. There is that Jace. It can punish him in the early laning phase, and when you have the backing of these two massive support champs, Sona and the Taric, you want something that pumps out a ton of damage.
And that means we only need the jungler here for MnM. Skarner is being hovered, and there would be one of the champions that allows you to just pick one of those carries, drag them back into your team, and blow them up before they really can make use of the stun, make use of the invulnerability. Looks like that is what will be picked up here for Nolty.
And it also limits the scaling of Enclave because they are going to be forced to invest more gold into the QSSs if they want to avoid the CC from the Skarner. So it means that they have to wait even longer before they hit the item breakpoints where they just take over the game with their Sona Taric composition. I feel like MnM, they definitely have some options in later stages, but I feel like you're going to struggle into a composition like Enclave. So you want to find that momentum early, you want to find some good kills on your solo laners, find pressure bot, get some turret plates, and keep rotating around that Skarner, because if it goes to late game team fighting, there's no guarantee you come out ahead. You're going to have to make some big outplays to do so.
So the pressure is on MnM, but as we were saying before, this roster looks stacked. I think they're also the favorites in all the predictions to take it here today, just on the back of how good this
The roster on paper looks great, and yes, there's a lot of scaling coming over from Enclave. My concern is if you set the solo laners behind, it's going to take a much longer time before the damage is there for Enclave to really pump things out.
And that is something that we're going to take into account here, because that bot lane, while of course being really susceptible once they're engaged, that it's not that easy, especially like you're saying, without something like the Sejuani that can lock them down easy. Now Skarner, once he gets Impale, is going to be able to do a lot, but previously to that, just the stun of his E might be hard to find something off the back of that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you need that ult. You need to be able to find the momentum with that. I think it's going to come down to the early levels because both junglers want to be playing for their level 6. You can make ganks before that if you have the right opportunity, but the first jungler to hit 6 is going to be able to impact the map more. That Impale or that Relentless Assault, is it called? Yeah. No, Assault and Battery. That's it, from the Vi. Both of them going to be very effective in pinning down targets and making things easy for you.
And I gotta say, I do feel like we saw a lot of target bans. We saw the Fiora and the Camille taken away there. And the Jace is a little bit more risky than those where if you fall behind early, you don't have that point in the game where you're still gonna hit your spikes, where you're still gonna be able to be valuable no matter what. However, if you do get ahead, as we said before, that's where Jace excels, when he's able to continuously output that pressure, but you also can't really afford, on the top half of the map at least, to fall behind as Enclave.
Yeah, I like it sort of as an early game option because it means that you have some pressure in your composition. Because if Enclave just played for all scaling, I'd be a bit concerned. And I think it's interesting for the Camille ban because Camille has been pretty heavily flexed now. Mostly though, we're seeing it as a mid laner. A lot of people have been playing that over in Korea, a lot of prevalence. So interesting that scene because we've seen it banned in this draft, and I believe in the game before we saw Banda
Correct.
win the draft in the second rotation. So a lot of teams aware of this. Hopefully we get to see, you know, a bit of signs of it from game 4. But for now, we are going to be soon loading into our game 3. What do you think? Are you favoring Enclave now after you've seen the compositions? Are you still on the MnM side?
I think I'm still on MnM side. I have faith in Enclave, but unless we see a really strong weather the storm game see come from them out early on, where they're able to just consistently weather the pressure from MnM that indubitably is going to come. And it really comes down to Scoot here. And I was really impressed by Scoot when he played against Enclave. And I'm hoping to see the same thing as he plays for Enclave here, as we have loaded into the third game of tonight. Enclave taking on MnM Gaming.
Yeah, definitely both teams want to start this one out strong. Long-standing UK orgs, been in the UK scene for a significant amount of time. And that's actually, I want to talk about. MnM have 3 UK titles in League of Legends under the belt, which is a lot. But more recently, I mean, last split was good, but the fact that they have 3 titles shows how prevalent they once were, and they really want to get back to that. But I feel for Enclave, they want to reach that sort of level. They want to be the sort of team who can lay claim to the title, challenge the top teams like Fnatic, like Excel. And this game might be the start of it for either one of them.
Yeah, as we were saying earlier, Enclave, really good middle of the pack team last time. They didn't lose a lot to the lower tier teams, but I don't think they were able to consistently string wins against teams like MnM. We already got some early skirmishing here coming through, and the binding does hit. Yusa is going to be able to get a lot of damage on both Kevo and Raisins. So Natarik, it doesn't kill you.
Yeah, a good poke back and forth from both sides, but there's a lot of sustain coming in from the Enclave bot lane, so got to say that favors them, especially as the Klepto from Kevo means he gets an extra bit of gold from that. But Shove goes over to MnM. They want control of the lane.
And we do see both junglers going for the red side clear here, just wanting to pick up all the experience that is hidden in those tasty little Krugs. They get smashed down on either end.
And that's the thing. I mean, for anyone running at home, if you want to hit your level 6 quick on a champion who benefits from it most, you want to go red to Krugs, because Krugs give the most XP, so you want to kill them as soon as possible so that they're on cooldown as soon as possible, and then next time you get them, they'll be worth more XP, and you just want to keep chain killing them. So that's why on these junglers, you want to hit the point. Oh, he comes in actually. There's still a lot of damage on a Kevo. He won't die.
Goes down, but it's not enough, and no real follow-up there. Don't want to take the risk by flashing underneath.
Considering that's a level 2 binding, it shows why MnM have picked the spot lane. Because if you start to chain those CCs, it really can become threatening.
Crucial is, though, that no summoners were used by Enclave there, so they still have the heal available, whereas Shogun did use his Ignites, as we see some trading.
Yeah, and without the Ignite, the healing from the Stoner combined with the heal from the Taric does make it very tricky. Low on mana right now, but Kevo does have TP. I think they're likely to clear this wave out, and then they'll look for a recall and a TP back in. Right now, Raisins is the one who has to pick up the CS, which makes it very difficult in this situation because you don't want to get shoved in. And you saw Kevo take a minion there, and that's actually not favorable because it delays your stacks on your spell thieves. But not gonna be too much of an issue. Will recall now and TP back in for mana. Nazi gonna look for an invade, and there's a bit of an interesting path coming out because Scoot opted to leave his Raptors up till later, and he's actually gonna possibly head over there now and see that they've been taken, but
he won't be able to.
Yeah, he's gonna. I think he's just gonna queue over the wall and then find out. Oh, they're gone.
That's unfortunate.
It's not what you want to see. Does pop the sweeper and knows that if the enemy jungler was there, he has to be aware a ward likely would have been placed. A lot of trading coming here from Kevo and Raisins.
And we keep seeing this combination we're talking about. Trap doesn't hit in this instance, though. Just a little bit too late, but
bit out of range for that one. Find it instantly.
The binding and trap combination is so incredibly deadly that, at least for now, we do see that MnM is having the early pressure that they were looking for. They're just continuously shoving Raisin and Kevo underneath their turrets, and I would like to see them also make use of this, because besides plates, thus far, they've not really been able to get anything, and they are opening themselves up to gank with Scoot here, pick out these Krugs.
That's my concern, and I do like that they've been chipping out the Stone and the Taric, so the lack of mana on them makes a gank a bit unplausible, but with how pushed they are, Scoot might just look for this one. And Kevo's walking up. This kind of telegraphs the gank. to a degree. But I think the ward being there anyway would have had them covered. Pink ward goes down, and Houston Shogun will just back off. Buys a little bit of breathing room for the side of Enclave, and actually, their bot lane's been CSing pretty well. Be only 7 CS down when you're essentially CSing with a melee champion because Raisins is the one taking it. That's a pretty good situation. And now, this early Ocean, I know people love Infernals. I know people love Mountains. But an early Ocean is probably the best in the game, especially for Enclave composition where the mana's been getting so low. This will help them get to the later stages when they scale really well.
And you were talking about how the continuous arrest for MnM, even though it didn't lead to kills or a substantial CS advantage, at least it leads to a mana deficiency. But the Ocean Drake, of course, is going to help a little bit with that as well, just providing even more sustain for a lane that sustains through basically anything. And if they don't get them behind early, if they don't start making these practice plays...
I mean, everyone across the board loves that Ocean Dragon. Rengus will burn a lot of mana on this Jace. Beely likes to pop off a lot of rockets. Everyone benefits from that. The one who only doesn't benefit that much is the Vi, but even then, you're not going to complain. Naughty now going to try and get control of this jungle area again. We'll pick up that scuttle pretty much for free.
And we are starting to approach the point where both of these junglers get those high impact ultimates, the Assault and Battery, the Impale, these big play-making potentials, skills with which they can try and set something up. As we see Naughty now going in, isn't quite there yet and does need to take the Raptor camp, but we might have a little bit of a fight, and a Scoot does make his way over there. Is charging up that Vault Breaker. It's a fully charged one, but they don't have enough damage to really take down Naughty.
Scoot got that, yes, his ult now.
Yeah, uses the Smite to steal away the big chicken, hits level 6 of that, but they don't want to go in, and I can't blame them with Chips just hitting level 6, having that Ignite available. But it does mean that Scoot now with the Assault and Battery might be looking for something, knows that Naughty is in the area, and after he picks up his Gromp, surely he will be level 6 as well.
And this is the point we've been waiting for when both junglers hit level 6, so high impact. They will be potentially looking to find the opportunity to make ganks happen. Right now, Naughty actually pathing away from his bot lane. Scoot is in the area, but no ult available yet for Kevo, so it has to come down to Scoot to make the engage. They can't rely on his Sona ult. He's actually going to come in now, but Zeus is very far away. The pink ward catches him off, and they will just be able to back off out of that.
Yeah, might have been able to reach, but if you use your Vault Breaker so offensively and you use the Assault and Battery to go in, a flash puts you underneath the turret, and the binding means that it's very, very quickly done, as only Angel and Chips now moving towards the top side. And with Naughty there as well, Rengus needs to be careful. Does have a ward in the Tribush though. So at least for the foreseeable future, he should be fine. Knows that this is happening and immediately backs off. And
yeah, you have to be so scared of a dive. The amount of CC and setup between them makes it very difficult for him to survive. He's going to go looking bot again.
Once again, this time though, Shogun might be susceptible to a gank. Scoot goes in with the Vault Breaker, hits the Assault and Battery. The stun comes through as well. And First Blood gets picked up by Scoot here as he slits the throat of his opponent, not blinking an eye. And that is going to be quite an unfortunate accident here for the MnM bot lane.
It is really favorable engage coming out from the side of Enclave. Great setup, great follow-up to stun on a Shogun. Gave him no opportunity really to flash. And that's a really strong combo when you have the Vi to easily set up the Tarak stun. And Enclave are the first ones to put themselves on the board. Already got that Ocean, now got a kill behind them as well. We said MnM need to make things happen early, and Enclave have started off strong.
Started off strong indeed as Chips trying to roam towards the bot lane with that Akali. A lot of mobility, but you need to be in a good position, and Shogun hasn't hit level 6 yet, and we see Kevo and Raisins now back. And the top lane play that we're looking for might be set up here. Predator gets used, but the teleport immediately discourages them. And the shockwave, just to add insult to injury, as Naughty and only Angel even have to use the flash, whereas really just have to use his teleport. We'll be missing a little bit, but not even that much, because I think by the time the turret hits a wave...
I think it's packaged, so he's going to grab that.
Yeah, the wave hits a turret. I don't see how a turret hits a wave unless, you know. Now it will.
Did he grab package? I'm not even sure. Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he did.
Okay, you know, I thought he did. It just didn't make the noise.
I love that noise.
Yeah, he grabs the package. We'll be able to pick up all the CS. Only falls a little bit behind, but that's a talking point right now. The CS difference in the solo lanes does favor MnM, but I'm not confident that's going to be enough to see them through this game. Really heading gold thanks to that Kleptomancy. The Rengis vs Only Angel has favored the Aatrox so far. But even gold coming out of the bot lane. But remember, look how much of an advantage Raisins has because he's been picking up all that CS. And the fact that, you know, Kevo's only picked up 22 CS and he's just a little bit behind gold in Yusa shows the strength of the Stoner Frostmancy AD carry.
As we see the Shelly being set up here, Naughty already starting that Shogun there to hit a binding. Beely already considers himself warned. Not going to go for it now, but Yusa is also in the area, so if Scoot wants to go in it is a big risk. As they are at a deficit, we do see Beely and Raisins making their way from the mid lane, and we might have a team fight early on our hands here. Chips is waiting in a wing, trying to find an engagement. A Raisins move forward, gets hit by Divine, gets taken really low, but is not taken down, as Naughty needs to run away before the fight could well be gone. There is the stun coming through from him. Chips goes through, and the Assault and Battery takes him down, as Beely picks up a kill. Naughty goes down after a great crescendo from Cavo, and MnM are just getting routed here, as Only Angel had to use his flash earlier on. Will get chased down here, and Enclave pick up the kill in the end and look incredibly strong here.
Yeah, Wise Traveler, their coach, coming in with a little graphic. Enclave are just so confident they're engaged, and we said MnM solo laners were ahead there, but they both got picked off in that team fight. And Enclave showing their teeth in that engage.
And that is a 2K lead for the team that we kind of designated as the team that has the better scaling. So let's take another look at the team fight here.
Yeah, so they try and pick up Raisins before the ult, but he uses stopwatch to secure that invulnerability comes through. And then Chibs, he tries to find the damage, but against the Sonar, there's just not enough to cut through the shielding. He gets locked down by the ult from the Vi, and then it's an easy follow-up there. Some flashes come through, and that's the thing, is that Only Angel just doesn't have a way to escape this play. Rengis shuts him down. It's a good stun again. I feel like Raisins was the MVP of that fight, really finding the stuns at the ample time and surviving for long enough for his ult to get off.
Yeah, because he was walking in there, and I was like, are you sure about that, buddy? And
he was sure about that.
He definitely was, and it gets them Shelly, it gets them a successful team fight, and with that, MnM, we talked about how they are a team that, with this composition specifically, they need to kind of get ahead or at least be even, but now 2K gold behind at 12 minutes. What do MnM need to do? Because the next drain, a Cloud Dragon, might be able to pick that up just on the back of the lane swap that we see coming through from Enclave now here, but is there going to be enough?
I don't think it is. I think they need to find an opportunity where they're fighting when the Sonar Turret aren't there, or where the other members of the team aren't. No TP is available now for Beely and Rengis, so they can look for a fight where it's not going to be the 5-man stack, because that's the issue. When you fight Enclave as a 5-man, that's where their composition excels. On MnM, you need a reset on Only Angel for him to really take over team fights. You just can't find that. And Chibs is about executing. No one gets low with a Sonar Taric around. That is where the issue comes from. So Chibs is looking potentially for a play up top here. The ult is not yet available from Raisins. I think he's just going to clear the wave.
Yeah,
oh no, he's not.
On top of Cavo though. Gets taken low, gets 100-0 as Chips finds the 1v2 kill. Won't get stunned there with a nice sidestep. The binding does not find Raisins, but he still takes so much damage, and he will be given over to Chips. Oh, will he? In the end, it's the Ignite that takes the kill as Shogun picks that one up. Nice sidestep by Raisins. It's not enough though, and Chips showing that even with how good Enclave were looking, you can't underestimate the damage from that Akali.
Absolutely, and it was just overconfidence from Kevo and Raisins. They didn't have the Taracle. Kevo didn't find an opportunity to use his crescendo, and it meant that it was easy pickings for Chibs. You're strong in the 5v5, but not in the 1v2.
And one of the things that we haven't really spoken about is MnM, if they find a single target here, they have so much lockdown, as you were saying. If it's not a 5v5 and you can just find someone, trap him, and take him out, then you might actually have a shot here, as we see Naughty try and set something up as he moves into this topside brush.
There's an old saying, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. And Kevo, if he steps up here again, it absolutely would be a mistake, but Scoot is waiting potentially for the opportunity to make a counter gank happen here.
This feels like a bait. Both teams are baiting one another. Gunblades gets used as Kevo gets taken low. There is a stun on top of Chips. No one gets hit by the lock laser, and Chips is already taken fairly low, but they're both disengaged, and that's going to be the end of that.
You got two massive ults from Enclave for nothing. I mean, you use the Luxol, but that's such a short cooldown, it really isn't relevant. Chips just walked up, queued, and then walks back, and it burnt 2 massive ults from Enclave, and it shows the threat this Akali represents.
As
And
Yusa.
Now MnM are confident. They know no Taric ult, no Sun ult, they can do what they want.
We do see that Beely is going to try and keep this turret alive. Of course, a lot of wave clear available for the Corki, so just some chip damage here for Yusa and Shogun. And I got to say, with how strong they were looking early on, I was expecting a lot, but thus far they haven't really been able to have that big impact that we were looking for from the bot lane here. And now we're getting at 15 minutes, we see still a sizable gold lead here for Enclave, and it's looking dire for MnM here, and they are showing some signs of life. It's not like they're just letting Enclave do whatever they feel like, but I still feel like we need to see more aggression out from MnM, or need to set up more traps, because if they just take it slow, I don't think that you're going to be able to deal with the insane team fighting pressure from Enclave.
Absolutely, and that's where the concern is when it gets later on. QSS is already picked up by this Corki and this Taric to stop the chance of them getting picked by Nulty. And I think that, as you said, Enclave got a bit ahead of themselves because they found this early lead, and so they tried to push that advantage. But the thing is, their comp is still a scaling comp. They need to wait a little bit longer, and the bit that you don't want to make plays around is just the Sona Taric. Sona Taric are great when they have people to support, but until the Sona gets enough damage to be self-sufficient, or she has members of her team around her for to facilitate, then you need other people to be there. And that's what caught them out. It has slowed the game down somewhat, but still, they have a gold lead of almost 2,000. And MnM need to keep the tempo going if they want to find their way to a victory in this game.
Gotta imagine though, if you're Enclave here and you're slowing the game down, you're like, yeah, that's perfect.
That's fine for me.
Yeah, just hang back, wait 5 more minutes, and then start bringing the pain.
Yeah, absolutely, why not? Package available from Beely makes him very hard target to pin down, especially with that QSS. But Shogun and Ulti just trying to establish some vision control in that Baron area of the river. Not available yet. 3 minutes though. And that's the sort of thing that can really decide a game.
Baron. Yeah, I've heard Barons have decided games.
It's happened.
Yeah. Trying to take a Baron. Is that a thing?
Yeah.
Failing?
That is absolutely a thing in the UK.
Or succeeding?
They're looking for Beely. He has QSS, remember this.
Has QSS, but 3 people might be a little bit much. There comes the QSS for the Impale. He will get taken down though, as the damage is just too much. Chips dashes out without so much as an issue, but they are giving up a lot of damage here on this mid lane turret.
Yeah, but Enclave will have to back off. They have lost a man. And we'll have to give fair warning to the side of MnM. I swear, Chips is his ease on his shuriken flips on his Akali are so consistent. You wouldn't think it's a skill shot with the amount of times he consistently lands that. It's really solid performance from him, and they managed to punish Beely's Corki even with the QSS and get a tower, which has actually equalized that goal difference. It is what you need to see from the side of MnM.
Yeah, not letting Enclave sit back as we were talking about earlier, but instead bringing the pain to them, as they don't want to give up this Ocean Dragon for the reasons we already discussed.
Yeah,
in
double
depth.
Ocean scales so well with a composition like that. The amount of sustain they would have, really painful, and they might look for a team fight here, but it could be a hard one.
Gets taken low, but try to engage against the Turtle is really scary as Kavo hits crescendo on 1. There goes Shogun, needs to flash out. The Scoot looks for the engage, but can't find anyone yet. Doesn't want to give up the Assault and Battery. As the Terrorstone tries to do this and incentivize them. Chips gets taken low, but not taken down yet. There goes Naughty. Only Angel finds the reset though, as a Great Lux laser takes down multiple people. Scoot and Rangis now trying to run. Rangis can't flash over the wall, and Shogun gets out. In the end, it is a favorable trade for MnM in terms of kills, but the Dragon does go to Enclave.
Yeah, but it's just an Ocean. We said it is nice to have a couple, but you definitely don't want to give up 3 kills, especially when that may well cost you that mid tower. MnM perfectly kited out that Taric ultimate and then re-engaged. And actually, Chips, he's looking for more.
And it's no skill shot for Chips. Not enough damage, though, even with the Caitlyn ultimate to try and finish that off. Level 10 might have just been enough if she'd hit level 11, but with that, it is going to be still, though, 2 turrets for MnM, and taking a gold deficit like they had for the biggest part of the game and turning it into a gold lead now as we are approaching 20 minutes. I think this is what people were expecting from this roster.
Absolutely. This is what we wanted to see, and they have kept the momentum going in this mid-game, but it is not over yet by any means for the side of Enclave. Their Sona Tower composition still has so much time to scale, and MnM need to keep the pace on and find team fights again and again like that. It does slow them down. The QSSs coming out from Enclave and also the Taracle, it means you have to wait them out before you can find the engage. They did find it that time though. They need to keep up this clean team fight play to make them work.
They really do, but MnM don't want to let them have it, as 2 Ocean Dragons do mean, though, that also if we are going to have a long game like the second game that we had today, and we are going to get close to the Elder Dragon again, Enclave are going to be looking to pick that up. And MnM, really the pressure now is on them to try and set something up, as we see that only Angel in that last fight, if he can get a reset, if Chips can get on top of that backline before they can really set it up properly, they are able to find these kills, but they need to do so consistently.
Yeah, absolutely. They need to keep this going because one falter can be enough for Enclave's composition to really take foot in the game and start to bring back the pressure. We see the Sheen having been picked up by Kevo, as well as that fully completed Seventh Embrace. A lot of base damage, but does not yet have that Lich Bane. A lot of strong items coming out across the board, but the big one to look at is Chibs' Akali. Has that Morellonomicon, has that Gunblade as well. That's a lot of base damage on any target.
So, Orcs, I'd like to ask you a question as we see
sure.
both teams kind of posturing around the Baron area. What is scarier, a Skarner with Predator and Righteous Glory, or a Aftershock Fire with a Triforce?
I think it's the Predator, the Skarner.
What would scare you more?
The Predator Skarner, because if the Vi comes in on me,
business,
I just, you know, he just runs and punches me. But the Skarner's like a creepy monster, and he grabs you, he pulls you away. You know, you need your team there. All Scoot's gonna do is run into you and your friends. You're like, what are you doing here? This ain't your turf.
That's how you would react.
But like this, if a Vi came in here and just assault and bury you right now, I'd be like, what you doing? I'm here for you, bro. But you know,
I really appreciate
if
that.
a Skarner came through that door and pulled you away, I'd be like, I'm out.
Yeah, I got to be honest though.
Out.
If a giant scorpion came and took you, impaled you on its skin and ran away, I'd be like,
I don't deal with scorpions. They are not in my my playbook. I'm just like, no way.
Chips, can you cool down?
It
just picks up another turret.
Quick comment from G Zalessi: is Chibs the best Akali around? Well, certainly in this game, but he definitely makes a name for himself on this champion. He had some solid performances last split, and once again is showing he is no stranger to that ninja.
Definitely not, and really impressive, especially like a lineup that Enclave have there. Where it's not that easy to find a target to pick off with how much healing, how much counter engage, and how much invulnerability is available to him. And
it's frustrating to play
really
against.
Impressive.
But they're doing a lot of work so far. Dragon is coming up soon. We'll be able to spot out which one that is next. And Yusa, it's his blue buff now.
Yeah, I mean, Chips runs on energy. And Lux,
you know, it's actually,
Lux doesn't need blue buffs.
Blue buff's pretty decent on energy champions, but
yeah,
I suppose they aren't looking for a team fight right now, so it's not too important. Plus, Chips is on the other side of the map.
Just want to keep poking, right?
Yeah,
understand that.
Bane now picked up for Kevo, so that Q auto has quite a lot of burst.
And MnM, they decide, yeah, why not? Start of the Baron here.
They blast coned over. There isn't any vision coming out from Enclave, apart from that Scuttle Crab, but they are not aware of this happening.
They are not. We do see some question mark pings going down, so I think they might be suspecting that something is off here. There is no vision, though, and they're all going to back off. And is this going to be the 3000 IQ move from MnM?
Blue trinket comes out.
He's going to check. There is a blue trinket, and it has been spotted. And MnM, they're not greedy. They immediately decide, okay, you got us.
It was a sneaky Baron, but it was such a slow one with just the Caitlyn doing damage. And remember, no attack speed yet on this Caitlyn, apart from the boots, so it would take a long time to finish that off. They go for the play. They test if Enclave are sleeping, and it looks like they're not.
Gotta say, I was a little bit worried for Enclave there, though, because I really like that play from MnM. That's the kind of play that, as you see there, if you get spotted, you just back off. But if you do, it might just win you the game. As the Cloud Dragon now gets picked up for MnM. Nice little symmetry there. 2 Ocean Drakes for Enclave, 2 Cloud Dragons for MnM.
It's not really symmetry, because then it would be
I mean, they
Ocean
both have
Cloud.
2. I know.
They like 2 of each, yeah. Okay.
Metaphorical symmetry.
Is that a thing?
It is now.
Oh, well, there we go.
I'll take it.
You will, and they are going to try and siege mid, but that's a lot of traps. That's a lot of traps.
They just eat them. Don't care whatsoever.
We got sustain.
And the 1-3-1 now being set up here by MnM. There is a teleport available on Only Angel. Chips would have to make his way over, but Enclave decide the better of it. Don't want to risk getting hard engaged on. And
Wait, what?
You know, if you talk about teams that, yeah.
What is Yusa building second? Because he built the BF sword. And you would think that you go BF, you build an Essence Reaver second, but you don't build a pickaxe and an Essence Reaver.
No.
Okay, I'm a bit confused.
Yeah, you guys can't see Orc's face, but he doesn't only sound confused. He looks confused.
I think he might have
well.
bought the wrong item there. Or because a lot of people have been going this Infinity Edge Essence Reaver build or Essence Reaver Infinity Edge, depending on the champion. It gives a lot of burst, your headshots, and your trap headshots on. Oh, Raisin stole that.
The snipe.
What a sneaky one with that stun. But yeah, I mean, so normally I'd expect him to go an Essence Reaver here, but he has picked up that pickaxe, which sort of raises a lot of questions as to, what he's doing. But I guess we will see.
Time will tell, Orcs.
Time will tell. It does.
You know, if you talk about an individual who would like to cloud drakes, I got to say, it's got to be the Scorpion, man.
True, very true. It makes it fast, very fast.
Very fast.
Time will tell, and we tell time.
Yeah, no, you lost me there. I got to be honest. That's too much for me.
Mind-blowing.
I'm but a simple play-by-play caster.
Yeah, it's mind-blowing. The ramifications really are insane when you think about it. We're having a bit of a look back at this top lane matchup, and there's a 50 Chesty coming out over Only Angel. He's really stamped his foot on this matchup. Nalty will get spotted out by that ward, trying to go for a sneaky play, but he does spot out the ward himself. The ward spots Nalty, Nalty spots the ward. It's cyclical.
Man, everything sounds smart when you repeat it like that, doesn't it?
I mean, that's your job as a color caster, make things sound smart.
But I thought you were smart. Kind of.
Don't tell them I'm
breaking my
not.
heart
Don't
here.
tell them I'm not.
I'm not saying that. You're saying that. It's not you saying it to me. It's me saying it to you.
You're learning.
Already.
You're learning already. We'll take a bit of a stock from this game. So the Essence Reaver has come out. Where did that pickaxe go? I think he sold it. Because it's BF, Coalfields, and Book of Agility.
Let's not talk about that.
He sold that pickaxe. We saw that. You said you can't hide from me. You built wrong. Everyone needs to spam Yusa can't build.
Is that really what you want to do?
Yes.
You want to unleash Twitch chat?
I want Yusa to know that everyone knows he was wrong.
So I liked how in the first game it was really explosive. And here we go, Rengar's trying to go for the 1v1, but Naughty is coming in with the Predator and the Impale. They need to flash, and that's the end of that. But the teleport does come in, so maybe they can go for a return kill as Scoot is making his way there as well. And simultaneously with Raisins and Kavo taking them on. A great stopwatch means that Kavo stays alive, at least for now. And there comes Scoot with the Assault and Battery. Kavo flashes over the wall, and that's going to be the end of Shogun as he stays alive for a little bit longer, but it does not matter. And it's a 2-for-1 trade here for Enclave.
Yeah, and it's the fact that this Sona Taric bot lane can find the pick onto Houston Shogun, but Chips this whole time
get yet another tower.
He wasn't doing anything. I think Corky's coming over with the package. I'm actually interested if the right crits come in. Maybe Beely could do a lot, but it looks like he's just going to ward off Chips, and Enclave starting to feel that scaling, that damage from the Sona is huge. They will get the mid tower, but they are likely to lose this bot inner tower in return.
And don't forget that the fact that Naughty doesn't have Flash anymore does mean that his engage, while still really fast with Predator and Righteous Glory available, is a little bit more predictable than it would be before.
It's fast, but you can't jump. You are limited to just go and zoom. And that is where the counterplay can come in, especially if Raisins has a good stun, you can stop him in his tracks. Now that his team is trading very evenly. QSS picked up by Kevo on this Sona. Starting to run out of good targets to ult on this team.
I'm starting to I'm going to have nightmares about jumping Scorpions.
Is that not all
I'm
you
glad
already
I'm
have
not Australian, man. From what I heard, they deal with that every day.
Yeah, I've just got to shout out to all the Australians out there who have to deal with that on a daily basis. You've seen Infernal Dragon. Both teams are going to win this one. They are going to set up, take them traps, waiting.
But MnM do have the priority as Scoot is channeling and looking to go for it, but doesn't find it as of yet. Retro does go down, and it will get picked up There comes the engage on Rangus. Really nice stopwatch, but can he get out? It does look like it in the end. Scoot goes in really deep, but uses his own stopwatch. And there comes the reset for Only Angel. Finds the first kill as Kavo and Beely try to get away. But the Aatrox is having none of it. The shutdown comes through as only Beely is the one who stays alive here. And an insane team fight from MnM after an overextension from Enclave. Rangus gets caught and the rest of his team dies trying to save him. Means that the Baron is open.
Absolutely, and it just felt like the performance, the coordination was not there from Enclave. And the biggest thing for me is take a look at Raisins. That Taracle just came up now. That is your biggest team fighting tool. And it was a complete mistake coming out from the side of Enclave to fight without that one. Beely does manage to Valkyrie away, but looks like mid inhibitor going down, MnM, and also the Baron. Great performance from them in the last team fight.
Yeah, that is pre-Baron, and Beely is able to QF his way out of their binding, doesn't get hit. The teleport comes through, then they're looking for the flank as we see another coach happy about the performance of his team as Kavo and Rangus try to get on top of Shogun. And that's probably going to be the end of Shogun, but you still have 4 more Baron buff left to go. And they're going to give the kill over to Beely in the end as Kavo chase after Only Angel for a little bit, but I don't think you want to continue that avenue as they try and push back in the mid, but now it's a 2 versus 3 defenses. Scoot and Raisins don't want to give it this topside inhibitor, but I don't know if they can do anything about it. Scoot already looping around, looking for the engage. Can he find it? Does decide the better of it and backs off.
MnM back off quickly. If they overcommit to the inhibitor, it could have been dire for them, but they get what they want and they get away from it. The gold lead has now ballooned to 4,000. We're going to replay off that dragon fight. So Rengus caught off at the side, and all of Enclave rushes over to save him. It's a good stopwatch, but now they overcommit to this choke point, and the big thing is they don't have the Taracle. That would make the absolute difference here, and Only Angel gets massive sweep spots on this Aatrox, and he manages to get the resets. I'm not really sure what Kevo was doing when he walked back in, but I think he accepted his fate. Only Angel gets the resets, and MnM confident in their performance.
Look at that. I mean, if you get a clean ace, you can flourish like that.
Why not?
And Enclave, I gotta say, I was really impressed with how they were managing themselves earlier on, but they also show that you can't give MnM a single inch, because the moment that you step too far forward, they get punished so incredibly hard, because this game went from a game where I feel like Enclave were really in control if they didn't take a team fight like they just did, because this wasn't also someone overstepping and then getting punished. It was a full-on 5v5 here.
Yeah, but it was just they didn't have a Taracle. They shouldn't have gone for the fight, and I think they overcommitted on the Infernal Dragon. It's not that big of a deal. Everyone thinks, oh, 8% AP and AD, it's going to win us the game. Honestly, a lot of times that is not the factor. One Infernal is going to win and lose you the game, but that fight, that failed fight, might well have done it.
There's, of course, a lot of wave clear here with the Chase, the Corki, and the Sona just shredding through these Baron-empowered minions as MnM. Fortunately, Only Angel also pushing on the top side, and after that last fight, he's going to be quite strong. Was already very far ahead of Rangus, and we also saw that with the Aatrox, the new ultimate, if you get those resets, you become so incredibly strong. The siege continues. Topside inhibitor is about to fall here, and Scoot tries to go in with the Vault Breaker, but can't actually find anyone. And now the brace is crumbling here for Enclave. They need to try and hold on. They try to defend their bot lane turret, but look at the Nexus turrets. They're dropping orcs.
They are dropping, absolutely. It's a very hard defense to make. Package has just respawned. If Enclave wanted to pick it up, that would be the opportunity to go in. But it looks like now they're just trying to clear out these waves.
And Scoot maybe going for a flank on the Vibe, but the wards by MnM
are
impeccable. And there goes Kevo, gets taken down. He gets impaled back in, but he's invulnerable. But Scoot tries to look for the backline engage, but gets blown up as Raisins goes in, gets taken down as well. Nice return kill for Rangus, but it does not matter anymore as Only Angel stutter steps his way to victory. Beely dodges the binding, but it does not matter as MnM, that looked like it was hard for them at times, but they win the game here against Enclave.
Yeah, rough early game, but they had the momentum from there. They find the pressure, they find the advantages in the team fight, and they will claim their first win in the summer UKLC.
And we talked about Enclave, this new roster, and I gotta say, I was really impressed with how well they were able to play out the early game, especially with a composition that traditionally doesn't do well.
It's just that one dragon. Just that one dragon. They
just one Infernal. I mean, I'll ask you this. If that was a Cloud Dragon,
it could have been a different game.
Do you think they would have gone for it?
They wouldn't have gone for that. They were baited by the Infernal Dragon. They're like, ooh, that looks very tasty. I don't just want to give it up, but
That looks juicy.
It's not that big of a deal. 8% AD or AP in that situation is not going to win or lose you the game. They needed to buy more time, and you should never, ever, ever even think about team fighting without your Taracle with a composition like that. But they made the mistake. Hopefully they will not make that mistake again for their team. But MnM come out victorious. They had a strong mid game, a strong late game, and once they got momentum, they went super far. And I got to give props to Only Angel, and that Aatrox was massive. Every team fight, he just ran away.
And incredible performance here by MnM, showing that even if they fall behind a little bit early on, they can find those mid-game plays and they can fight their way back. But this was only the third game, and we got one more game coming up next. It is going to be XL taking on Barrage. Now, there's another Benelux laner in that game, so I'm really excited. Also, it's XL, and XL has been looking incredible. And we got a couple of LEC players on the roster tonight as well.
Quite a few, so you just stay around and see, because they're going to be some very familiar faces. And I'm going to say probably the most he has the most impressive accolade of any player who's ever played in the UK. But you'll have to wait and see who it is.
You were rooting for Barrage though, right?
I did say that I think they have a chance to upset. It's going to be a close one, so make sure you stay tuned.
Is Orcs going to be wrong, yes or no? We're going to find out after a short break.